So Nick Khan was mentioned on Vince McMahon's lawsuit this week, and we're going to be talking about that. That includes Stephanie McMahon, Brant Bloom, and Mr. Nurse involved in all this. We're going to be talking about that. Also, again, Dave Meltzer getting on Wrestling Observer News and lying about an individual WWE superstar who's supposed to be returning back. We're going to be talking about that and much more on the Chokeslam Wrestling Report.
Is the moment we've all been waiting for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Welcome to another episode of the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. I am your host, the infamous Ultimate Wonderful Benton Podcast is here one more time. I probably am known as the guy who, they don't know he don't know what he's talking about when it comes to wrestling. With and the way I know more, they're probably half of the damn IWC community and whatnot. But that's here or there. So let's get straight to this situation and this news that came in this week when it came to Vince McMahon's lawsuit by Mrs. Grant. And we all know the story behind this, the sex trafficking charges that are probably going to be charged to Mrs. McMahon. The federal government is involved in this. John Laurinaitis is another guy who's been mentioned in the documents, the 67-page documents, for those who did not read it or they didn't bother to read it, because a lot of people just talking out of their ass as of late when it comes to this. But a very interesting part in the document mentioned 4 WWE officers, main officers. And one of them is Nick Khan. Another one is Stephanie McMahon. Another one is called Brad Bloom. And I believe the other guy, it's called, his last name is Nurse. Was the guy Nurse? I don't think they mentioned his name much in this one. But the biggest surprise in this whole thing is Nick Khan. When they mentioned officer, WWE officer, lead officer, or the big officer, Nick Khan, that never crossed my mind as far as the guy who may be the one who is going to be mentioned in this lawsuit. Stephanie McMahon, I'm not surprised that she's mentioned in this lawsuit. As far as a Brad Bloom, I'm not familiar with him, but he is to be known as the guy, one of the top guys in the WWE, boards or whatever you want to call it. But the crazy part is that, here we are, and we have Nick Khan mentioned in this lawsuit. Now, the reason I'm saying I'm kind of surprised, because I always felt that Nick Khan was the man who set up Vince McMahon's downfall. Now, most of you may say I'm talking crazy, and I'm not. I don't know what I'm talking about. But think about it. So Nick Khan got so comfortable. He was brought in by Vince McMahon. He was doing moves. He was doing cuts. He was part of that. Vince McMahon probably trusted him because he probably was, diabolical like him. And 2 diabolical people that get along, one of them is going to trust the other one. But I always felt that Nick Khan kind of set up Vince McMahon. When Vince McMahon was kind of ousted out of the board in June or July of 2022, I mean, everybody wondered who was the one they called Wall Street Journal with this information. Because right after that, Nick Khan kind of took over CEO. I mean, because I know him and Stephanie we're going to be coexisting as CEO of the company, something to that effect, and they were going to be running it. McMahon went in December of 2022, forced himself way back into the board, and then decided that he was going to sell the company. And Nick Khan, I mean, everybody paid a price when McMahon came back. And Stephanie left. And everybody was wondering why Stephanie left again. Stephanie had left in May of 2022. A month later, her father was, accused of hush money situation, which turned out that the hush money, one of the female was Mrs. Grant, the one who's suing McMahon and WWE for sex trafficking or whatever, what's sex trafficking? That's what you want to call it. And, Stephanie McMahon must have known something. And I always said that because she left. And now here we are. And she's over here mentioned in the lawsuit. Now, did she know that her father was doing despicable acts like this? Maybe not as far as that, but she knew something. Because already Linda and Vince were already separated. You know what I'm saying? She just did not divorce them and whatnot because, you're trying to save face for the company. You don't want that out in public and whatnot. But once McMahon got suspended of WWE, or what do you want to call it, house difference, you saw him that he was with another woman and whatnot. That was he made it public at one point. Stephanie McMahon, I'm not surprised she was missing. Now, Nick Khan, let's get back to Nick Khan here. I believe Nick Khan set up Vince McMahon because when McMahon came back and he was, no, I have to come back because I want to sell the company. Nick Khan was still Vince McMahon's right-hand man. And Nick Khan's background is a guy who, as far as business-wise, this man knows what he's doing. Now, also, there was also a rumor back in 2022 that Nick Khan and The Rock wanted to buy WWE. Now, fast forward 2024, here we are. Nick Khan is still in high, I guess, in a high position. The Rock is a holder in the board, or he's in the board for the stocks, whatever you want to call it, a TKO board. And McMahon is gone. Think about it. Nick Khan has survived 2 bullets, if you really think about it. You know what I'm saying? McMahon coming back and not getting rid of him when he came back from that whole hush money thing. And McMahon's situation now, you know what I'm saying? And, and Ari Emanuel buying the company left Nick Khan as one of the guys up in the top. The only thing is, he dodged a bullet for Ari Emanuel because then Ari Emanuel was like, well, you know what? McMahon is a liability because of the whole situation with this is way before the sex trafficking, even when the feds put in subpoenas on McMahon and checking his house for whatever it was this past summer. So Nick Khan may mention on this, maybe he did not know what McMahon was doing with this woman, but he was part of the NDA. He probably was the one who came up with this non-disclosure agreement for this woman to sign whatever it was, however it was typed, whatever the how it was worded, whatever the case, because we don't know. Okay, he was part of that. Now, is he going to be in trouble as far as he might get ousted from his position by Ari Emanuel? Maybe. Like I said, this is not over. This is not over, and I'm going to keep saying that Triple H is another guy who's not going to dodge the bullet. Why? Because there's a report going around for the last 2 months that Triple H put an NDA. I forgot the diva that used to be in WWE and she left. She's saying she was given an NDA. Okay, this non-disclosed agreement, and it's funny because I remember a couple of it was in December or September, whatever it was, when when CM Punk got fired. I remember when fans went and started to clown Chris Jericho because they said he had a non-disclosure agreement because CM Punk was given a non-disclosure agreement by AEW. Here we are, probably close to 5 months, 6 months later, and we're hearing the word NDA again, or the initials NDA. Here we are, we're hearing non-disclosure agreement by Vince McMahon on this Miss Grant, and now we're hearing Triple H, a report going around that he has a non-disclosure agreement on something he did back in 2007. Now, again, I'm going to keep saying it. Triple H is not going to be able to dodge this bullet. He's going to be called if the feds decide that they want to, press charges. Yes. Felony charges on McMahon on this sex trafficking thing. Triple H is going to get called. He's going to get subpoena. Okay. Stephanie McMahon already been mentioned in the documents in the civil, because this is a civil case, but because of sex trafficking is involved, that is a felony. Now you may ask yourself, how do I know? Well, I'm a podcaster, but on my day job, that's what I do. I work in the law enforcement agency. Okay. So that's what I do. I know what I'm talking about. Okay. So for all you people who think you know the legal system, you don't know shit. Because your people just want, Triple H, nothing's going to happen to him. Wrong. Because he's married to the boss's daughter. Okay. He knew what was going on. He has some capacity, and then to top it off, now he's being mentioned that he had a non-disclosure agreement with this diva in 2007. I cannot remember her name right now. I cannot remember her name because she wasn't that popular in WWE, and she wrestled between, I think, 2005 and 6 in the ND. And now, do we believe it's true or not? With that, we don't know. We do not know. I mean, because there's reports, and there be, like I said, podcaster that goes and get on this mic and goes and chooses to take reporting from like Wrestling Observer News, which the guy who always got his name out there reports the wrong shit. He assumes, because podcasters have to have some type of topic to talk about, so they'll go and grab that and whatnot. So we don't know if it's true or not, but that is a hint. There was a segment, I remember, when Triple H was part of Evolution, and he grabbed one of the divas very close in that segment, like he was forcing himself toward her and grabbing her kind of rough, even though it was a segment for wrestling. But if that was already written down when they were going to do this, what makes you think that was not happening for real? Think about it. That's all I can tell you. Think about it, because it is what it is. A lot of people don't want to talk about that, but this whole thing with Nick Khan being mentioned now, is he, like I said, the question is he going to be fired if it turns out that he knew this was going on and he was part of this non-disclosure agreement and he knew what a non-disclosure agreement was? Is he going to get fired, or he's going to dodge another bullet? The other guys, Brad Bloom, the other one, Nurse, his last name Nurse, no one cares. Okay, but they were high officers. Stephanie McMahon, this is not the first time that Stephanie McMahon has been mentioned as being in a situation and not helping a female, if it was a female wrestler or a female employee. Okay, because it happened with Ashley Mazzaro. And they said that Stephanie McMahon was the one that I believe that Ashley went to, if I'm correct, something to that effect. Her name was mentioned. Now, as far as Stephanie being mentioned here, it was more of, well, if you don't feel comfortable because of Brad Bloom didn't like Ms. Grant, you could sit next to me. So she knew something was going on, but she didn't do nothing about it. So if you don't do nothing about it, that makes you a person who knows things are going wrong in the workplace, but yet you're up there entitled. The boss's daughter, to top it off, I'm sure she was higher than all these clowns, but you didn't do nothing about it. So the toxic environment that was going on in WWE between the time 2019 all the way to 2022, nobody did nothing. And now John Laurinaitis is throwing people under the bus. He's claiming he's the victim. Vince McMahon throwing everybody under the bus and whatnot. So everybody's getting thrown under the bus, but this is going to explode. This is a time bomb that's going to shock and rock WWE to its foundation. And Ari Emanuel is going to be the one who's not going to give a rat's ass about any of this, and is going to start firing people, because there's word around that Ari Emanuel is not the guy to play with. He had a deal with Saudi Arabia over something. I can't recall what it was. And he pulled this. he put the deal off the table. He does not care. Ari Emanuel is one type dude that when it comes to his business, he does not play. So speaking of Dave Meltzer, because I spoke about him in the Wrestling Observer News, how people pick up his nonsense and his stupid reports. Well, there was another stupid report going around by him and the Wrestling Observer newsletter claiming that there's Brock Lesnar is on his way back to WWE. Now, whoever came up and he verified that WWE is bringing back Brock Lesnar. Do you think, and whoever believed this stupidity, do you think that WWE already is in hot water with a dark cloud over them with this whole Vince McMahon drama going on? Do you think that Ari Emanuel and the WWE and TKO are going to bring back Brock Lesnar when he is not mentioned by name, but he is mentioned as WWE champion, former UFC champion, and former WWE champion? There is nobody else who's been in WWE who has been WWE champion and UFC champion. Is only Brock Lesnar. Okay? If people act like they dumb, oh, it's not Brock. You still got fans talking about, oh, I wish Brock was back. Didn't you just saw or read the fucking document that claims that he was about to get involved in the whole situation, but luckily Miss Grant wasn't able to go because of snowing, some like weather situation, bad weather. You know what I'm saying? So anything to say Brock Lesnar really of not even getting involved in this whole thing was the fact that he never touched this woman, but he did. I believe he spoke to her through text or whatever the case is. And the question, see, the crazy is everything's going to be revealed. Everything in the dark gets revealed in the light because Vince McMahon's cell phone got taken by the feds. Okay. And you could erase anything you want on a cell phone and they could still get all the info, all the text through the cell phone company and they'll be able to get it. Okay. This is why you can't do nothing when it comes to cell phones, computers, all that, because everything comes back. They could tell how many times you went to Amazon using your phone, even if you delete the whole phone. So Brock Lesnar, being involved, or his name hasn't been totally named in the document, but his accomplishment has. Do you think, again, Dave Meltzer, again, this man, and this is what I get upset with a lot of these podcasts. I respect a lot of podcasts, but some podcasts, I just find them as a joke. Okay. They just they own the damn YouTube, constantly doing constant content, which is not bad. But if you're going to do content, come on. And especially with wrestling, don't come in here and put how you call it? A podcast up on your YouTube channel and talk nonsense. It's not even verified. It's not even, doesn't even have legs. My question is, where did Dave Meltzer get this? That WWE was bringing back Brock Lesnar. That's what I want to know. Where did he get this report? And it seems to me that Wrestling Observer, as of late, okay, don't have any topic, and they have become controversial. They will come up with stories about, like right now they're talking about that Sasha, the AEW stars are pissed off at Mercedes Moné because she said one day she's going to go to WWE. Every wrestler says they're going back to WWE. It doesn't mean that they're not gonna put their heart and soul where they're working at. I mean, do you think people were pissed off when Naomi left TNA and went back to WWE? That was their fucking hell? Was there people pissed off? No one gives a fuck. It's just the fucking community. Okay, the IWC community can be fucking, they don't relax. The tribalism, and a lot of these podcasters, what they do, they are the one behind this tribalism. Instead of saying, guys, let's watch wrestling. If you enjoy one promotion, fine. If you enjoy 3-4 promotions at the same time, fine. No, but everybody has something stupid to say, and then they go on into, creating a tribalism, stirring the pot. And some of them are even podcasters. They claim they are the number one podcast in the YouTube channels and whatever you want to call it, but they're part of the whole tribalism, and they're the one who stirred the pot. And this is why the IWC, it is what it is right now. You know what I'm saying? Some of these podcasters do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with creating content, but come on, like let's use common sense. Some people don't use common sense in the wrestling communities. It's crazy. And they keep listening to Dave Meltzer. I just did a fucking video a couple of weeks ago about Meltzer lying on reports on AEW and TNA on 2 days, probably on 1 day alone. This guy got nothing better to do. Him as a Wrestling Observer newsletter. Who pays for this shit? Who? Because I don't believe anything this man says anymore. Okay? I'm one, I gotta look for legs. If you ain't got no legs on that reporting, I am not even talking about it. I'm not. Every time I talk about Dave Meltzer from the Wrestling Observer, who gives a fuck? If anything come out of that man, in this podcast, he's gonna get criticized every time. Anything that he talks about is not gonna have legs. It's not gonna have legs. Every time he talks, I'm gonna do this.
You freaking idiot.
This is what you're gonna get. Because it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's just ridiculous. Brock Lesnar returning back to WWE. Really? Now with this fucking cloud hanging over WWE? Are you out of your mind? Come on, man. It's ridiculous. That is it for me today. I mean, I think I did enough ranting and whatever I do usually. I mean, usually I'd be more calm than this, but this is just ridiculous. Constant bullshit in the not in the WWE, but in IWC, yo. Like the wrestling community, it's so toxic. That's all I can say. It's so damn toxic. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, guys, if you want to follow me, you follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and check out my podcast store, TCWR Very Impressive.com. That's TCWR Very Impressive.com. You guys can check out the website and check out the shirts, the t-shirts, the hats, and the sweater in there. So if you could just go into the website, you could register to the website and check out all the stuff in there and whatnot. So also, I'm still trying to see if I start doing audio podcasts, but to this time, at this point, Spotify has not given me my 346 episode that they erased. Anybody who got Spotify, and I'm going to say that I don't give a fuck because these assholes decided to delete my account, give it back to me, and do not return none of my 346 episodes on my audio podcast. Whoever got an audio podcast, please, whatever you do, do not put it through Spotify. These assholes has taken already a month to try to bring back my episodes. So I'm going to call them out there. Whoever sees this or hear this, I don't care. It's my platform. You can't do shit. And if you don't want to get my episodes back, that's fine. But you will get shouted out because you guys trying to monopolize the podcast industry by doing stupid shit like this and then think that you're not going to get singled out. So I already gotten in contact twice with Spotify and they're giving me the run. And they're talking about, oh, the escalation team. I don't want to hear no escalation team because that's bullshit. I don't know what that means to me. So anyway, that is it for me today, guys. So after this, I guess my rant. I need you to rant, like I said. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Check the video out. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, guys. Hit that notification bell for new uploads. And when I hit that thumbs up, it will help the channel greatly. Also, I want to thank all my subscribers who show support. And when I continue showing support, I appreciate it. Until then, guys, you take care, and I will see you guys next week.